Hey duckies, I'm Ree, and welcome to my channel. Before anything else, I just want to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers. You honestly give me the inspiration and drive to keep uploading these videos. So, as a little thank you, I wanted to make this video extra special. Today, I will finally be revealing how I strategically calculated my way into earning that highly sought after 99 plus PR. And I got it on my first day. And feel ko, ito yung tutorial na inaabangan talaga ninyo. So, I'm pulling all the stops for this one. I'm going to be as real as possible, walang BS, walang gatekeeping, at walang padimir-dimir. Okay? Just the exact mindset, steps, and hacks that worked for me. This isn't going to be some sugar-coated motivational speech. It's real talk for future lifesavers like you. So let's start. This is going to be a 3-part tutorial because, honestly, I've packed it with all the gritty, excruciating details that I know will actually help. Success isn't easy, and I'm not here to give you half-baked tips. What you'll get is a full step-by-step breakdown on how to build a solid game plan. Stick to it and see real results. So if you're ready to get that 99 plus PR, then let the game begin. Let's go and tackle the assessment phase. Okay? So before you play to win, you need to know 3 things: the self, the game, and the competition. That's the foundation of any good strategy, whether in games or in real life. Now let's talk stats. I figured some of you might be curious kasi diba, sa mga NMAT Facebook groups, if you're a member of them, people always ask about stats. So just to give you some context, here's mine. So I graduated with a Latin honor, had a GWA of 95, and from a traditional pre-med course. I'm also done with my boards, and I have work experience. So, share ko lang. Not to brag, but to give you a clearer picture of where I'm coming from. My background definitely played a role in how I approached the NMAT and what strategies made sense for me. I invite you to take a moment and reflect on your own stats. Compare them with mine if it helps you set realistic expectations. Look at your stats and estimate how likely you are to do well on your NMAT based on my stats and how I did on mine. And then adjust accordingly. This isn't about comparing who's better. It's about knowing where you stand so you can build a plan that actually works for you. Everything I'll be sharing in this series is what worked specifically for me. Okay? Hindi siya one size fits all. You have to customize your own. Use mine as your blueprint and then tailor it to fit you. So, sabi pa nga ni ate pink hair tarot reading girly sa TikTok, if you've come across her, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Now, let's talk about one of the most overlooked parts of the NMAT preparation, knowing how the test is actually scored. Before you even start planning your moves, make sure you understand how the game works. Don't be that player who skips the tutorial and wonders why they keep losing. If you don't know how points are earned, how can you play to win? For your future self, duckies, read the instruction manual. In our case, that's the bulletin of information, and I will link it in the references and then comments below as well. So take the time to read that one. This one right here is a screenshot straight from the BOI or Bulletin of Information of SEM. And if I'm not mistaken, that's under test scores in page 7, nasa part 1. Okay? So, words, blah, blah. Let me just make it easy for you guys. Here's the thing. Every time the NMAT is administered, it uses a different set of questions. But don't panic. They all measure the same skills and concepts. However, some test versions might end up being slightly easier or harder than others. And to keep things fair, SEM doesn't just rely on raw scores. They actually scale your score based on how difficult your version was. So instead of counting how many you got right, they calculate between something called a standard score, or the SS, which falls between 200 and 800. Most people score around 500 with a standard deviation of 100, meaning the typical range is around 400 to 600. So these scores are grouped into three sets. So subtest scores for Part 1 plus a composite score called APT, subtest scores for Part 2 plus a composite score called SA, and then finally, the GPS, or your general performance score, across all of the 8 subtests. So let's see exactly how I did as your reference. Let's zoom in here. So this is my actual NMAT test scores. For those intent on proving otherwise, I just received the hard copy of this one. So if you want proof, then you can just PM me on my FB page. So anywho, I even got my name on it, that's Ree. Okay, so that's my name, and this is the test date when I took the exam. So here are my scores. Okay, you can see here, my APT and SA are both 800. So that's around the highest score you can get, which totals to my general performance score, which is 800. And that is why I got the 99 plus. So we can see here that I most likely did well on my verbal, my physics, oh my god, and then my social science. I did exceptionally well on my quantitative because I thought I was going to do so much worse. My chemistry, oh my god, I thought this was going to be my lowest one. And eventually my biology, they're tied. And I'm kind of good at biology, so that's a shocker. And then what's more of a surprise to me was inductive reasoning and perceptual acuity. So if you've seen all of my previous videos, I have said that I like the perceptual acuity. But this in this one, you can see that this is one of my lowest SS, okay? And that's because I run out of time. So it matters talaga when you're taking the NMAT. No matter how easy the questions are, when you're gonna run out of time, it's over for you. Okay? But here's the part most people care about. This 99 plus PR. That's the juicy one. It ranges from 1 to 99 plus, and it tells you how you did compared to the rest of the test takers of your cycle. So if your PR is 85, then that means you scored better than 85% of everyone who took the NMAT in your cycle. So during mine, it was the April-May cycle, and I got 99 plus. So I performed better than 99 plus % of the NMAT takers. So that's what everyone aims for. So the funny thing about this actually is when I started out, I wasn't really that serious about getting a 99 plus. I felt like it was impossible for someone like me. Even if I did well on university, I didn't really think I'm going to do well on national tests. Okay? Especially the NMAT. When I got to know all of these subtests, especially chemistry and physics and quantitative, I felt like it was really not for me. Okay? I was just hoping to get a decent score. But then came the results for the January-February cycle. And I learned that people get a 1-digit PR. They get the 1 PR. They get the 8 PR. So that's when I panicked. I was immediately filled with anxiety. Because I thought, I think you've read of this, that the minimum PR requirement of PHED of any medical schools is 40. So I was thinking that the minimum you can get from NMAT was 40 to 99 plus, right? That's the range. And then everything that below 40 is just like, I think it was blank, you know? Because I was thinking, just like in like high school, siguro, right? When they scale up your grades, I was thinking it was going to be like that. But no, there are really test takers who are assigned the lower digit PRs. Okay? So that's what made me panic. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if I get that 1-digit PR? Okay, so that's when I started getting serious. And that's when I started formulating my game plan, which now I am sharing to you. So that early on in the cycle, you're already built with the right foundations to getting the PR. So I suggest you take the NMAT only and only when you are ready. That is, if you want to get 99 plus PR, which I am assuming you are because you're listening to me right now. I get it. Some people take it for the experience or just to see what it's like. But keep in mind, the other NMAT takers are praying to the universe that people like you exist amongst them while taking the NMAT, so they can use your unprepared ass as their stepping stone to climb higher in the percentile rankings. So yeah, wala kang tinatapakang tao, pero nagiging stepping stone ka tuloy. Game is game, duckies. Game is game. Remember that. Now let's talk about the leaderboard. Your kapwa NMAT takers. You don't need to obsess over them, but knowing who you're up against helps you move smarter. It's like scouting the competition before you're entering a tournament. You don't need to fear them, but you do need to understand the playing field in order to level it. Now, when you think of people trying to get into med school, what kind of individuals come to mind? You already know the type. You are one. But let me share my own take when I tried to assess the competition. They're most likely intelligent, the best of the best from their own colleges, both from trad and non-trad pre-med courses. From well-off families, most likely upper middle class. Some are kids of doctors, or honestly, some are all of them. They're the kinds of people who can afford the best tools, resources, and networks, and they're using all of it to get that 99 plus. And remember that ladder thingy we were talking about earlier? Well, those ranks are based on how you perform against all these people, the elite. Some of them might be prodigies. Some even have their own private tutors. And some can take a year-long prep schedule or even longer. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just giving you a much-needed reality check. And in reality, you need to play to your strengths. Do you have the intelligence, the time, the money, and the connections? If you've got the wits, double down on mastering the content. It's not just about being smart, it's about pushing through even when it's hard. Grit turns your potential into actual progress. If you've got the time alone doesn't help. How you manage it does. Discipline means sticking to a schedule, saying no to distractions, and making every hour count. Turn your time into momentum. If you've got the budget, invest wisely. Get that review class. Book those mock tests. Okay? Use your money as your superpower. If you've got connections, if you know someone in med school, a doctor in the family, a mentor who's taken the NMAT, then ask questions. Get tips. Absorb the wisdom. Ikaw, what will you do to get ahead? What edge are you willing to leverage? Getting a 99 plus isn't impossible. A lot of people do it every year. And not just every year, every cycle. It's just not about being the smartest. It's about who wants it more, who works smarter, and who's willing to take the risks to get there. And look, we're still in the assessment phase of the game plan. There's already so much to factor in. So my advice, think strategy, not stress. As I've said, this is the realest advice out there that you're ever gonna get. I'm showing you my most intricate game plan. Every step you complete here is you climbing a step closer to 99 plus PR. I hope hindi nyo sasayangin laway ko. And you use this tutorial as a blueprint towards your fullest potential. So for now, do your assessment. Char, may pa-assignment? No, seriously though, complete your assessment phase. Because we're gonna need those data for the next phase of my game plan. And that is planning. Here's where the real work starts. So these are my references, the NMAT BOI as well as the SAM website. And hey, If you're new here and you find this video helpful in any way, I'd be super grateful if you hit that like and subscribe button after watching. It lets me know this content is making a difference, and it helps me keep creating helpful tutorials. This has been Review with Ree. Bye!